Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Roll20 Presents Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely friends. Well, okay, my friends are lovely, but the characters they play are terrible. You murdered so many goblins,
What are you talking about?
basically unprovoked.
Listen, they
I
deserve
didn't murder most of them, so it's not my fault.
They deserved it.
Did they, though?
Yeah.
Did they? I don't know if they did. I
They
think
were-
it could have
I
been
was-
redeemed.
Should we get into the conversation about whether goblins are inherently evil? And
It
should-
says right here, neutral evil. Ergo,
There you go.
I guess so.
Hey, I'm also neutral
There you
evil.
go. Killing people who are neutral evil is totally fine.
On today's
Garia
episode,
exists by the grace of our goodwill.
Makaria gets killed by the rest of the party because they realize it's okay to kill people who are neutral evil.
Yay.
Wow.
And what are you supposedly lawful evil?
On the most recent thing that I had to write down what my alignment was, I put neutral.
Ooh,
Listen,
is
you
everybody
can't-
except Makaria neutral?
You can't throw 8 under the bus because 8 is the bus.
Okay, 8 used to be evil, and then he
I used
changed.
to be evil.
Yeah.
Change.
8 changed.
Lest I
Changed.
remind you, 8 is 5 years old. Very
Oh, he's a Bobby. They're
So-
Bobby.
So in chat, Dirtum has pointed out that I did indeed say when I was prepping this level, oh, they don't have to fight all these goblins. It just goes to show you can never
Subvert
predict
your
what's going to happen.
expectations every day, Adam.
That's right. That's right. Well, and this is the thing. Even with a published adventure, all it is a big old question mark. This question mark just happens to be better defined than most of them. This one, I'm like, yeah, I can guess at what might happen when we get in here. Otherwise, no, not so much. Not so
I can't
much.
believe you thought we were gonna fight all of them.
You spent like several whole episodes not fighting them, so I thought probably
Yeah.
we could get through it. But
To be fair, Lauren, I didn't think we were gonna fight them either.
That's true. I thought we were
Oh.
gonna die before we got to the last ones.
yeah,
I hoped we would fight all of them.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. I just wanted to interact with them first because I thought the whole
Yak is my favorite
Oh.
NPC to date, I think.
So
I was
Dave
just
is-
watching the video and I was like, I love Yak. I love him. I'm so glad he's dead though.
Dave is one of those players who exhausts the dialogue tree and then is like, well, there's nothing else to learn from you. Smack, 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 smack.
It's the Fallout 4,
Yeah.
well, you've stopped talking to me. Blam!
No, I've totally started doing that. I've been playing a bunch of BioWare games, and it literally is that. Just exhaust the radial menu, and then it will be like leave or attack, and I'll just be like, experience point.
Yeah, right. Like Dave walks up to an NPC and they're like, hello, traveler. Welcome to the town. And you talk to them again. Well, the inn's that way. The temple's down there. Talk to them again. Hello, traveler. Welcome to the... As they get murdered with a sword. It's good. It's a good approach. Just ring them out and get all that sweet XP.
Yep.
Yep. Which you will all be rewarded with when you get to take a short rest. Everybody's pretty beat up right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And we got a lot of dungeon to dive into. So why don't we just do that? Why don't we just jump right in?
I
and
want
do
to.
the thing?
I want
Okay.
as much dungeoning as
All
possible.
right. Well, let's do it. So, yeah. So currently, the room is a lot less clean than it appears to be. I just took all the tokens off to help us with our load speed. It was like a third of the tokens on this level. But there used to be, and in the fiction, there is still massive piles of just dead goblins everywhere. You are currently standing in the abandoned... It's not really abandoned if everybody in it is murdered. You're standing in the market, the former market. There are tables strewn out in any direction, which means if you need any like slightly used mundane adventuring gear, you can kind of come back and scavenge this place. It's like an OB1 scavenging test for anything you might need.
What don't we
There's
have?
also a dwarf around here.
Right. So I was about to say, as the group of you plan to leave, in the quiet, you hear from over to the east, from this archway, you hear a voice. You hear some rattling of chains, and you hear a voice saying, "Hello, hello, hello, is someone there?"
Oh, well, that's my dwarf that I rightly won.
That contest was unresolved, just so you
Macari.
know.
If everyone who you're competing with dies, that means you win.
Makaria, you can't own people.
I can own their corpses.
This conversation has been
Sorry.
very uncomfortable. Macario, you can't own people. Well,
But what if they're dead? Could I own them then?
Yeah, they're not
Anyway,
people.
They're not people anymore. It's true.
I look at Rin being very uncomfortable and I say, we can't very well leave him locked up here now, can we?
No, we can't just leave him, but alternately, we also can't just turn him into a skeleton for no reason.
I won't turn him into a skeleton right now. I'm all out of magic.
Fair enough.
And what happened to Halithgard?
What does it matter? You saw him here? Did you? Or because I didn't see or hear
Yes.
him here.
He was in fighting goblins.
He was.
Wait, Haleth was here.
Yes.
He lost.
Wait, does that mean he died? Oh, I've never seen a revenant die before. Oh, that would be so much fun. Where's his corpse?
Let's explore.
So from the other room, like you hear that voice again, like, I can hear you talking out there. Could I get a little help?
Yes, we're coming.
Over here?
Somewhere over here, yeah.
Can I like look in the room and I want to like try and like if there's someone with a bow about to shoot me?
No,
I
you want to
try-
just like peer inside? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So in this room,
Surprise, gold dragon!
so this room does have torches in iron brackets on the walls. There is the north end of the room, a pile of slightly moldy cushions. There is bits of half-eaten food. You see like an apple with a bunch of bites out of it, some like chicken bones, sort of scattered around the gross nest at the far end.
Question.
Yes, Dave.
Why did they get apples?
Where? That's a good question. Probably as where they got everything else, they stole it from an adventurer.
Yeah, but why would you take an apple down into a dungeon?
Because it's tasty.
It's
I
only
don't
the second level.
Yeah.
Apples last for a couple days.
Yeah, and they're good.
Eaten. That's
Yeah, right. He doesn't understand body stuff. It's fine.
Well, anyway, I like peek in and I see a moldy bunch of cushions and an apple and no goblins with short bows yet. So
Yeah, so let me finish describing the room. So on the right, chained to the south wall, you see a hideous sight, a terrible sight, a thing that no human eye or any other should fall upon. You see a beardless dwarf. His face is spotted with blood and little tufts of hair that didn't quite get shaved away, and he looks angry and miserable. He is wearing just his little dwarven loincloth underpants thing, and he looks like he has been wounded in other ways by these goblins as well. He has some cuts and bruises on him. He doesn't look like he was tortured, aside from the fact that he has had his beard hacked from him.
hello.
And he's like, no, look away, don't look at me.
Why?
And he's closing his eyes, like, you know how babies are like, you're not there. Right? He's got his eyes closed. And he's like, I'm hideous. I don't want you to see me like this.
Yes, well, most of my companions are hideous. It's fine.
I give her a look like I better be the exception. You did say most, so.
So you said you were hearing us. Are you amenable to coming with us then, or would you like to be?
And he's
further
hanging
enslaved?
he's hanging from chains, and he like rattles them a little, and he says, I heard the fight. I had hoped that it was the goblins on the losing end.
Well, it was, at the end they did lose, so that's all that matters, right?
And he kind of nods. He says, "Why? I suppose." And who are you lot?
My name is Makaria Rada. I'm sure you haven't heard of me.
And he,
yes.
he squints at you. Let me see. I'm gonna make a religion check.
Oh yeah, she's not really hiding very well now that she's a cleric not of Kellenvor, because she doesn't have the same armor that she used to have.
Okay. So
So All she has is the cool skull cloak.
Does she look like a Warhammer 40k character? Like skulls fucking
She's like one of those terrible like Facebook ads for a mobile game where like her first costume she just looks like a weird peasant, and then she just gets less clothes and more skulls every time. Like elite level Makaria is just like 2 skulls and a skull and some skulls floating around. Yeah.
No, elite level Makaria is Liliana from Magic.
Thank goodness you clicked this ad, my lord. So you you remember those? Terrible. So you look around the corner, you come into the room, and yeah, he squints at you, Makaria, but doesn't say anything. And then he looks over at Rin and he says, I'm Copper Stormforge. Those goblins, they ambushed me. Locked me in here, and they did to me what you see now.
I was going to say they do seem to have done a number on you.
I have been mutilated. I'm a shadow of my former self.
Does it look like there's any way to undo these chains effectively? Currently, I don't have a key.
They're pretty like rusty. 8 could probably yank him out of the wall without too much trouble.
Ultimately, Jewel could just do something.
Jewel's just sort of watching all of this. I guess she's moved forward and like she just without saying anything probably goes up and tries to unpick the lock.
Yeah.
Hold on. Before we let you free.
Oh,
there is a
yes,
question
right.
That I would ask you. And there is a right and wrong answer. Wait, no, that's not the case. I heard someone say that. Have you previously traveled with a cleric of Joaquin?
And he squints slowly, and he nods. He says, "Aye, one of the fine fellows."
Why did you push him into a pit and leave him to die?
Gark betrayed us. Tried to take some of the loot that wasn't his. We knocked him unconscious, and well, it wasn't safe to go all the way back up, so we left him in the pit. We knew that somebody would come along and find him.
I don't know if I trust you. I would love to see if I can tell whether or not
Yeah, you want to make an insight check? Sure.
As soon as he says that, yes, he was one of the people that traveled with Halleck, and he's the one that like pushed him in the pit, can I like see if Makaria would get a hint that like, because she knows that this Halleck was talking about like how he needed to get vengeance, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Would I know enough about like Revenant stuff to know that like I have to keep this guy with me because Haleth will be drawn to him? Or
Yeah. I mean, I think you did pretty good on your religion check, and it fits your bailiwick. So I think that you know that Haleth, if he's not going to rest until all of these nerds are dead, or he is. And if
Right.
you have this guy, eventually Haleth will come looking for you.
cool.
But yeah, 8, he's lying.
wrote it.
That is a false version of the truth.
So that's something really interesting, actually, I've noticed. Despite being incredibly unpersonable generally, I have never rolled badly on insight to tell whether people are lying. So for some
that's
reason, I keep thinking, like, why does 8 know these things? But they do. I was like, so I suppose they say an interesting story.
We absolutely must take this poor dwarf with us. Look at him.
The girl's right. You really should let me down. I've knowledge of this level and a map of the one below.
Oh, Jewel, go help him. He's obviously a very valuable companion.
Looks between Makaria and 8 and then like looks at 8 with this like she knows you're very insightful.
Yeah, like the
Luck
full
begins.
comment is a very interesting story.
Yeah. 8 has a built-in void conf machine, so you can tell. You get the blush response, the whole thing. I will tell you, Copper Stormforge, not a replicant.
Okay,
Mm,
sweet.
okay.
So he's full of shit right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, he's obviously telling the truth and must be guided through this horrible hellhole by such lovely and generous adventurers as we, obviously.
far be it
Uh-huh.
from me to take the vengeance rightfully owed to someone else. If you exist for, you can live for now.
Okay, that's enough for me. Jewel goes up too, and we'll pick the locks on the chains.
Okay.
But before she says that, she's like, "If you try and kill any of us, we will kill you swiftly as we killed all of the goblins."
And he nods and he's like, I have no reason to kill you, especially if you're going to free me from this place. And if you killed all the goblins, well, you've done my work for me.
Oh, you wanted to kill all the goblins. Why is that?
Do I need a roll?
I know. Yes, yeah. So he looks at you, Makari, while Jewel is doing it, and he says, well, I don't know how well you know dwarves, lass, but there's very little we hate more than goblins. Now, I know I don't look much of a dwarf, but I am deep down. And a
I
dwarf...
love how Jewel like touches it.
Yeah, Jewel just...
Yeah, 32. I think Jewel looks at it. She's like, "It's not even locked." Why
Yeah, you walk over and like begin to lift your tools, and in pure intimidated fear, the manacles spring open and flee.
So for those who don't know, Jewel has gloves of thievery, which gives you an extra +5 on top of being good at this.
Yeah, so you have your stone of good luck, your thievery, and then yeah. So
She is optimized.
yeah, so you open the lock, and he does that thing. He's contractually obligated to rub his wrists.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that feels better. And he like puts his hands to his face.
Yes, your dwarf was in the other. Your beard was in the other room.
And
if you
he
still
looks at
want
his hands and he says, I could feel the knife. I knew what they were doing, but I must look horrible. He like just like stares at the ground.
it. Not any more
Ooh.
horrible than dwarves usually look.
I mean,
I
I think
have
anything
a
that doesn't
plan.
have fur looks a little horrible.
I have a plan for him. Back before we had the bag of holding, I purchased for myself a number of sacks. I will cut eye holes in the sack so that he can put it on his head.
Right, to hide his shame.
As lovely as
Okay,
that is.
yes, yeah. He'll do if you suggest that,
all
he's
of
like,
this,
yes.
I'm just watching this.
As lovely as that is, do you think maybe his actual clothing is around here somewhere, or
He
Well,
shakes
I
he
didn't
shakes his head
see
sadly.
anything.
And he says, what's great is that, okay, so Copper he's essentially nude. He's wearing like a loincloth.
yeah?
So his skin is like, he's clearly a rugged adventurer type, right? Like he's used to being outside. He's got a tan, except he's got this bib shaped like white space on the front of his chest where there's no tan from where his beard would have hung in front of his skin. Yeah, so he shakes his head and he says, I'm afraid my clothes met the same fate as my beard, taken from me and desecrated. And he looks, and over in the corner, there's like a burnt pile of scraps.
No. Well, they did have a marketplace just outside, and there's no longer any marketers, so you can just take whatever you need.
He's like, aye, good. I don't know if they'll have any dwarven-sized armor, but a weapon would be nice. And he looks over at 8 and he says, if you're serious about that bag.
Yeah, and I've just like finished because I don't do things by halves. Like I knit it around the outside so it'll like edge circular holes as opposed to just like
I can pull it over his head. Cool. All right. So now you have this guy in a loincloth with a bag over his head. He looks like a Dark Souls monster.
love it.
And he says, "Oh, wait, I have something. But I need everyone to look over there." And he like points to the other end of the room.
I look away because I'm really hoping he doesn't take his pants off or something.
I raise an eyebrow, like, does it look like I care?
And he just says, "Turn around. I can't have you looking at me.
I'm not going to put my back to someone.
Just look. I
met.
don't have a weapon. Just look over there. Turn around."
And my token around.
All right. I mean, does everybody turn around?
Yeah, Jewel like does the cat thing.
I walk out of the room because I don't care.
And so you turn around and you can we see you, and then he's in the background, like kind of blurry. We can't see him. And we just hear him like making some like struggling noises. And then he's like, there we go. Here. And when you turn around, he's holding a folded piece of paper. like parchment that's been folded kind of as small as he can get it, and he's holding it in his hand.
Where was
And
that?
he walks over to Rin, and he puts it out.
All right. Right. She takes between two.
Jewel has clothes on. Let her take it.
fingers, very,
Okay, all right. So Rin,
very gingerly.
yeah, you take it. It's like kind of warm,
Uh,
and he says it's a map of level 3. It's all yours. I'm done with this terrible place.
Oh no, no, no! You must come with us.
If you unfold it, I have.
Yeah,
I
I
have.
do.
Thanks to the fans. I couldn't find a credit on this, but a fan made this map because there isn't an official handout for it. So thank you for that.
Oh,
I'll try to find who made it and clarify. But as you unfold it, I'll show it to you. There you go.
Ooh, dragons! Someone wrote "Praise Joaquin." I know who that was.
while you are looking at the map over my shoulder, I hand it to you, Macaria.
Oh God!
You're
Oh.
like, ooh, dragons! I just, yeah, there you go. Have a look.
Oh, look, there's a
pass on.
skull over here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because she didn't see where it came from, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That must have been Haleth. What a fucking idiot. Oh, sorry. What a wonderful cleric. Very useful. Anyway, you must come with us, Copper. Did we get his name? He gave
yeah,
us.
Mhm.
yeah, he said copper, yeah.
It's not safe to go wandering around wearing, well, practically nothing as you are.
And he nods and he says, "I couldn't agree more. Let's go take a look at that marketplace." And he comes out and just immediately begins like rummaging through the tables, looking for stuff.
And then like 8's still like right in the doorway, right? You said something about Haleth being here. I'm saying it under my breath so it doesn't like travel.
Yeah,
to-
so he doesn't hear it. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw him during the fighting.
Where was
He's
he?
lying, by the way.
I don't care.
Fair enough.
Where was
Uh,
he
He
during the
was,
fighting?
yeah, and I point like up to where he was fighting. He's like nearer the throne than I was. He came off from
Right.
where the stage was somehow. I mean, I don't really remember.
So I would be like going through the marketplace, looking around through like all the goblin corpses, kind of like in the direction of where 8 said Haleth was. So he said it was up near the throne. They said it was up near the
Yeah,
throne.
yeah.
During this time, Copper will have managed to put together a workable suit of leather armor and get himself a bow and a sword.
Okay. There's definitely still goblin oh, there's living goblins over there.
Yeah, those are the 2 goblins that now serve the queen of the goblin market, Rin.
Yeah, I think the Macaria like comes up to this like doorway, sees like 2 manager goblins, ducks back, and then when they aren't like armed or slathering in the mouth, she like looks back over.
Mhm.
Um,
And the goblins both turn and look, and they're in the middle of a project. Like they're working on this auction stage, and so they both look up.
did either of you see a dead-looking human man?
Yeah, they both nod, and one of them points to the south, and he says, "Yeah, I think he's in there."
And I'm just like waiting for them to take out their swords and try and attack. And when they aren't, they're like, right, well, I'll just go check on him. Healer, you know.
And
Healing.
they both just shrug like, "Okay."
And they're still not attacking. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, and then they go back to supervising each other. And as you come around the corner, you look into that room. You see there are several figures. We haven't seen this room yet.
Uh-huh.
So in that room, let me get the description of it. It's one.
Does anyone in here look like they're going to kill me?
So 4 iron gibbets hang from, and I spent a long time figuring out what these are, and I still don't know how to pronounce them. But they're like chains that hang from the ceiling, and then you attach people to them. So there are 4 of them. This seems to be like a goblin prison. 2 of them are empty, and 2 of them have people in them. One has a goblin hanging from it, kind of like kicking. Yeah, like bird cages for people. Yeah. One of them is a goblin just kind of kicking her feet, like looking bored. And then the other one around this corner has a very dead Haleth Gark in it, and he looks like he has been perforated by arrows and swords and spears. The smell of burnt flesh floats from here, and you see a bugbear currently like cleaning and sharpening the various torture implements that he has in here and putting them very gingerly back on a rack.
What a professional.
Right? He's cleaning his tools.
I don't want. Can I try and figure out whether I know enough about necromancy to know if like Haleth's dead, or if he's gonna wake up again?
You can make a religion check if you want.
Okay. I'm just like trying to peek in. I don't know. At 3, I got a 3.
Oh, you have no idea then. Yeah, that's the worst you could possibly do. Yeah, you have no clue.
So obviously I need to get a closer look. I think that like God, I don't know. We just killed so many of them.
Well, so while you're doing that, what's everybody else up to?
Jewel will scavenge for things that look interesting
Okay.
and also replenish like the basic stuff that she, like arrows and things like that.
Yeah. So the goblin vendors, it says here they buy and sell stolen goods, including items listed in Chapter 5 of the PHB, particularly armor, shields, weapons, adventuring gear, tools, trade goods, food, and drink. I think there's a pretty good chance of you finding any kind of miscellaneous BS that you need.
Okay.
Miscellaneous BS.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I've used a candle and a flask of oil.
Hey, maybe they got another short sword.
Ooh, is there a short sword?
Yes.
I would like a short sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna upgrade my dagger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's fine.
She looks at the dagger and she's like, "You did good.
I'm gonna scoop up an
Time to
inkwell and
retire
some
you
Yeah. That's right. Down you
for
go.
throwing." Sticks in her boot.
What was that, Elf? What did you want to
I'm
do?
gonna scoop up an inkwell and some paper.
Okay. Sure.
Some of,
I
it has,
remember-
some of it has goblin scribbles on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
I remember that Haleth left with my mace, so I'm looking for that.
Yeah. You do not see it around here.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I figure while Macaria is like
Yeah.
working out what it is that she would like to do in the area, I'd probably end up following the trail of blood.
Yeah, it would lead you back there.
So I get to that room as well.
Okay. All right. So Macaria, and then 8 by extension. What are you gonna do over here? So this bugbear you see walks over and is like finishing putting up. And yeah, Macaria on that cut where 8's looking around like, where's that mace? You see it on the bugbear's belt. You see the golden mace of Syamorph. And yeah, the bugbear is just humming to himself like.
Oh, and I see 8 come around the corner, and I'm just like, I need that. I need to go in there.
Oh, a bugbear.
Yes.
A single bugbear. What a threat. So the bugbear turns around, having put away the last tool, and walks back over to the cage where Haleth's body is, and he bunk like knocks it a couple of times, and he says in common, he's like, "Good work today, big guy." And then he keeps walking up towards you. He's gonna walk around the corner and see you in just a second.
I cast Toll the Dead on.
You just want to attack him, just flat out. All right. He doesn't seem to be like threatening.
I mean, he's every other bugbear I saw was threatening. So,
Okay. All right. So you just like peer around
Damn
the
it,
corner.
you're
You're like,
killing my minions.
I cast Toll the Dead on him. DC 15, Wisdom 6.
all right.
I mean, 8 is
We
here.
die here. This is really embarrassing.
He fails. He takes 8 necrotic
And I'm
damage.
gonna laugh my ass off if both of you get bonked.
Okay. So you like,
You
ha!
hear from the
So
other
you-
side of the room,
you-
loud bongs.
You step out and just like, blong. And he's like, he grabs his chest. Like, oh, what the hell? Oh, God. And he like leans against the wall. He's just like, huh? What'd you do that for? Oh, God, it hurts so bad. And he like leans on the wall and so slowly slides down the wall. Like, oh man.
We're
Oh.
going to need that mace. It originally belonged to me.
And he looks over.
Wait,
He's like,
not-
fine. Fine, you can have it. Ugh. And he like reaches into his belt and he takes and he throws it on the floor.
Seriously? You're
And
not going to attack us.
and he looks up at you and he's like, What the hell? Why would I want to do that?
Because everyone else did.
Oh yeah, and if everybody else jumped off a bridge, you think I'm gonna jump off a bridge too?
Yes, actually.
No. I don't like bridges or water. And he looks at you, 8, as you come over and he reaches out. He's like, help me up.
Yeah, I shrug. And I, like, with one hand, pick him up, the other one take the mace. I'm like,
Yeah. All right. So he like brushes himself off. And he's like, holy hell. You guys are a bunch of assholes. I mean, not you, big guy. You do that all the time? You just jump out and cast spells on people?
Yes,
Why? It's mean. I could have died.
that would have been lovely.
Ugh. Well, you're real nice.
Yes, well, I don't have many friends. So you're seriously not going
I can't imagine why you don't have a lot of friends.
I just need to get in there and check out that corpse of the human that you have.
Oh,
I'm very preferential to human corpses.
well, I'm not gonna judge.
Bugbear corpses are great as well.
And he gestures and he says, I gotta tell you, there's something special about that guy. I tortured
many-
him well beyond the capacity that any person should have been able to handle.
How many times did he die?
Well, it sort of depends on how you consider death. Right? He was in and out of consciousness many times. I saw his wounds heal up miraculously so that I could stab him a bunch more times. It was great. Most fun I've had in weeks.
What I wouldn't have given to be there.
And kind of side eyes you like,
So
"Where is he?
I think I like now that he's like seriously not like just straight up murdering. I'm gonna like go in and like check out Haleth and be like, so did you stab him here like with a dagger or was that
make a persuade check.
okay? Persuasion. I got a 10.
All right, so he comes over now that you're not like trying to murder him. He comes over, and this conversation fades into the background, so the 8 you can like look around the room if you want to. But basically, he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that you were a professional." And he comes over and he's like, "All right, so what we do is first time I stabbed him right here where I figured his heart was, and he didn't die, so I stabbed him on the other side because sometimes people's hearts are on the wrong side. And then when that didn't kill him, and he just starts going into like, and then I poked him here and then
Oh, yeah,
down
she's
here."
paying serious attention and
Yeah.
like also poking at the wounds that haven't healed in his body and like the ones that are like half healed. And she's just like, oh,
And
yeah.
then 8, when you come in, the goblin that's sitting in this cage looks up at you kind of expectantly like, oh, hey, strangers.
What are you doing up there?
And she looks down. She's like, I'm serving my sentence.
What did you do?
She scowls and she says, what is, everybody's got to eat. And I hadn't in a couple of days. And everybody was giving Yek so much food. He's so tall. And I just wanted a little bit for me. So
Yek's dead now. Yek's judgment has no bearing on your future any longer.
Yeah.
Your free future. And I just
okay, make a strength check.
Okay.
An athletics check, rather.
Oh, much better. I love that.
Yeah,
one.
you get the big bonus. Nice. Okay, yeah. So she hops down. She probably swings down like on your cape and then lands. And she does look pretty malnourished. She's like pretty thin and I mean all goblins look kind of gross, but she's looking like kind of weak. And so she lands and her knees wobble a little. And she looks up at you and she's like, "Hey, thanks, big guy. So Yek's dead, huh? Who's in charge?"
I think my friend Rin.
Rin. That's a great name. Where is this Rin? I got some bowing and scraping to do.
You know, just like point a thumb back towards the other room. I'm just like, all the other goblins are dead,
Okay.
so I felt like I should maybe balance it out with a good deed.
and
Makaria, if she heard that, would make like a scoffing laugh, like
yeah, and she grins and she says, "Well, this is not a good deed that Glom the Goblin will ever forget. You and me, we got a life debt going here, big guy. What's your name?"
Oh, 8.
She nods and she says, 8, if you ever need anything from the Goblin peoples, just whisper the name Glom, and I will come to your aid.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy. And she gives you like a pat on your metal butt, and she walks out. And as she walks out into the other room, you hear her say, "What's up, a-holes? I'm out of my cage." And then she like walks off.
I feel good about this. That was a good deed.
Yep. So, Makaria, you finish getting the rundown from the bugbear, and so like we turn around and he's like, "And then I stuck the poker in his face, and I think that's what did it."
the iron poker. Was it hot?
And he looks at you.
Burning.
He looks at you and he's like, "Well, of course it was burning. That's what the poker's for. If I just wanted to stab him, I got implements."
Right, of course. Well, from what I know about him, it was probably the heat that did it. But
And
of
he,
course, now we have to find which other corpse he's going to inhabit.
And he nods and he says, "Usually I like to start with the heated up metal. It's real good for poking the legs. But, it takes time, and we were just in the middle of the fight, and I got left back here to, be in charge of the interrogation. It occurs to me I never asked him anything. I was just so curious to see if he was going to die or not."
Well, you did great work, and were I in the market for a torturer, which I'm not because I'm quite skilled at it myself, I would definitely take you up on your talents.
It's like, "Oh, I did. So you're a professional or just an amateur? You ever been to TortureCon? TortureCon 1491 was so good. I swear, that Skullport Convention Center, it gets better every time."
It was in Skullport.
And he nods. He says, "Oh yeah, all the best torturers were there."
I've never been.
Yeah.
Is that
Glorthon the Decapitator, Kraylarg, Fistbreaker. Oh yeah, everybody, all the big names.
Is that can you get there easily from here? I would love to go.
And he nods. And he says, "Yeah, easy to get to Skullport. You just keep going down."
And the best way to get down from right here where we are, where would that be?
Let's see, because I bet he knows, but I do not know what direction it is from you, because this level is huge. He's like, "Well, it's going to be a little complicated, given that, you look how you look, and, well, this place doesn't,
I can disguise myself. You have I don't know about 8, but
And he says, "Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but if you could just cover that hideous visage of yours, you'd really do a lot better down here. Anyway, just go south. There are tunnels. This whole area, there's some." He puts his hands up like there's some awkwardness, but just keep out of sight. Don't pick any fights. You'll be fine. Or I guess pick fights you're gonna win. But it's south of here," and he points back that way.
well, we didn't lose this one. Anyway, thank you so much. Aside from the fact that I would rather have preferred him staying alive in this body, I'm sure we'll find him again soon.
And he says, "Oh wait, hang on before you go. If you come around and you ever want to collaborate on a project or anything," and he reaches into his vest and he pulls out a piece of paper, a little piece of like cardboard, and he hands it to you. And he can't write or read. It's just got like scribbles on it, and it's got a picture of a skull with like jagged teeth, and on the back there's a stick man with like swords poking into him, and he hands it to you, and he's like, "There you go. So just, if you ever need anything, you want to co-torture somebody or something, I don't know how it works up on the surface. I just..."
Thanks. And Makaria takes it.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and get rid of this corpse. It's not useful anymore.
And he nods and he looks and he's just like, it's not as much fun when they're dead.
I I would disagree, but that's just me.
Right.
Anyway.
It's like, yeah, well, pleasure meeting you. Have fun in the dungeon.
Sorry about the bells.
That's
I
actually
honest-
That's TortureCon's motto. Actually, have fun in the dungeon. So you head off.
Dr. Khan, have fun in the dungeon.
All right. Well, we need to keep the dwarf.
Fine.
All right. I'm gonna go. I would like to see if I can, like, while I'm just quickly walking through the market, if I could pick up short bow, 1 or 2 short bows for my skeletons later,
Yeah, sure.
because they stole one of them.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to
So
grab
they
a
have at
couple
least
of
one.
short bows and some ammo.
Okay.
Ah, yes. This is the skeleton armory now.
Well, let me
Yeah.
I'll just drag them in.
From Goblin Market to Skeleton Armory.
You know what I just realized is a spell missing from this game?
Hmm.
Corpse explosion.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just thinking about it.
Oh,
A
okay.
great necromancer trick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's fun. Okay, so I'll put in 2 short bows.
Okay. So Jewel, you've got a sword. Everybody that needs to pick up stuff has some stuff that they need. Okay. So Copper, now that he's been freed and equipped,
That's a silly name.
he says to Rin, I think you're having this conversation. He's got a bag over his head. You're looking at
Yeah.
through holes in this burlap sack, and he says, "Right, well, thanks for letting me free and everything. I'm gonna be heading back up, heading home. Thanks." And he,
No, sorry.
he turns and Makari says,
I'm like all the way
Makari's
across the
like-
hallway.
Kari is like coming out the door on the other
"Nope."
side. Because I was just about to be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Right, yeah. And he's
I
like, "What?"
quick walk over, like, we saved your life. You owe us.
I gave you my map, didn't I? It's gonna lead you to treasure and glory. What's better than that?
You need to remain with us for the next 24 hours or so to stay safe.
If you're going down, there's no safety to be found that way. I've got to get back up to the yawning portal, get myself a
I'm a-
drink, and then go into hiding for several weeks while I regrow my beautiful face locks.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. Your friend Haleth will be coming for you, but he needs some time.
Rin, you see him like tense up and his hand move towards his sword.
Oh, I don't want to hurt you. I want Haleth.
He says, "Well, I don't know where Haleth is, but I would like
I-
to get as far away from here as possible."
I think that's a very reasonable sentiment to want to leave this place. I don't know why
Mm.
Makaria is necessarily standing in your way of that, because if this man and Haleth were to cross paths, that may not go so well.
Haleth is a revenant. I don't know if you know what that is, Copper, but he is bound to come after you. And I would like to speak with Haleth. So if I keep you here, I will soon see Haleth. Unfortunately, he died just over there.
Yeah, you really fucked up with that betrayal thing. Like, it's going to go really badly for you.
So your best bet, if you want to avoid certain death, would be to encounter Haleth with all of us to help you.
So like I love if just look at the map and like imagine this conversation. So Copper has like backed up against like a pillar, and the group of you are kind of like standing around him, and he's like looking with his bag on his head, looking back and forth at you, like, and now he's holding his sword like, what's happening? Who are these people? This is worse than it was before.
You can either encounter Haleth somewhere on your own, well, he will certainly kill you, or you can wait 24 hours with us, in which case he will come for you with us to protect you. I just want Haleth.
You want him to think that you're gonna protect him, because
Oh, yes.
all right.
That's deception for sure.
Yeah, there's
She
a
does
lot going on here. I think we can roll all of this into an intimidation check,
Intimidation.
because that's kind of what this feels like to me. I don't know what intimidation normally rolls with, but you'd be
It's
using
charisma.
Okay, so it is charisma. Yeah, so use your charisma. Make an intimidation roll. He like Yeah, it's that he's like scared of you, but you want to be more like you need to stay with us because there are scarier things out there that are trying to come get you.
And I want that scarier thing. Can I have advantage?
I feel like this is when Jewel is like looking for her new sword, and so she's just like threateningly holding them up, but not intentionally, just like
I mean, I don't think anyone is
like
helping.
stabbing a corpse by accident.
Trying it out. I don't think anyone is actively trying to help you, Makaria. Like,
Why
if you
can't
have,
I use deception? I'm totally lying.
well, because it's not just about the lie. The lie is part of the greater thing. If you want, we can link test this shit. You can make a deception roll. If you succeed, you can have advantage on your intimidation. If you fail, you have disadvantage on your intimidation. Do you want to do that?
I just like I only have a +3 to deception, but I have a +0 to intimidation, so it's like it's very. All right, the luck is that I'm probably gonna do poorly anyway.
It's up to you.
I mean advantage. I'll try. I'll just go for it. We'll just see. Void dice, please.
We'll see
help
how
me.
it goes. Whether you go kill him or not. Yes.
No, a crit! I got a 20. I got a 20 on the intimidation.
Nice.
Oh fuck yes.
So Copper slowly takes his hand off his sword and he puts his hands up and he says, all right, there's no need to be unreasonable about any of this. Obviously, it's wise to stick together. The fine fellows didn't learn that, and look what happened to me. Now, I don't know about Haleth Gark, but he got what was coming to him. And if you let him out of that pit, that's on you. If he's got some oath of vengeance against me, he and I can work that out if we ever see each other again.
I
But if
have
you're-
a further question, actually.
And he looks, he's like, what?
Were the fine fellows named ironically, or was it only made ironic after the fact that you betrayed each other and then split up, leaving each other to die?
He scowls at you and he says,
It's a joke.
yeah, right. He's just like, you don't know me, robot.
Well, anyway, best stick together. You're right. Plus, I don't think it will be too long, and we're likely not to go any further down in the next day or so, considering I like gesture to some kind of horrible wound that will heal up in 8 hours rest.
Yeah, magically. Yeah, actually, nobody's that badly wounded, even 8, because that's not what hit points are.
Right.
So, yeah, so Copper, like, you see him kind of give in, right? He's like, shrugs his shoulders. And he says, fine. Where to?
Weren't we going to go back to the?
We have this
Organ.
lovely room full of bones.
You can't force him to play the bone organ. He's not going to.
Anyway, there was a room that seemed rather safe. We were going to have a quick rest. You look like you could use one as well. What with hanging from the ceiling?
And he looks at you skeptically and he says, safe? Down here? Oh no. I think you aren't likely to find much safety in. Well, he looks around. I suppose if you kill everything.
That's the plan. Let's go.
All right, so where are you going?
Oh, the bone organ room was where we decided we were going to try and rest, right?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time? Is it feasible?
To take a long rest?
I think there's like another 4 hours at least. before
6
we-
hours before you can start another long rest.
The thing is, though, we're not going to do anything else. I
No.
think we're just going to stand there for 6 hours.
That's the hard thing is that like I have no hit points, 1 hit die.
Exploring anything new is a death sentence to our entire group right now. It's just
Yeah.
a good idea.
However, I mean, this is the thing. If you say we go to the bone organ room, we do nothing for 6 hours, then we take a long rest, the chances of something encountering you, especially given that the hallway gives off noise on its own, are pretty high, right? Like, the dungeon isn't a static environment. Things move around and stuff happens. So
Yeah.
there's much higher chance of that.
There's a possibility of just staying in this area, which again, like it could get refilled with goblins, but theoretically, probably for a little while, Rin will be in charge. So that gives us potentially some cover to stay here for a while.
I feel like the
I mean,
thing
we
is just
could.
finding a place where we can kind of try and like barricade ourselves. And
Yeah.
I'll just hang out on the goblin throne and be like, hey, leftover dregs of goblins, I am your king.
Yeah, and Copper says, "Now listen, he overhears you talking to this. He's like, I don't want to seem like I was just like a broken record, but that's not a real thing. I don't want to belabor the point, but there is a tavern I know two floors up that we could just pop up to and just
You do
grab
realize we have
grab a drink there.
higher first floor if we do
I mean,
that.
I did just have the most horrible wine I've ever drank in my life.
It's not actually a terrible idea. We
So,
did just
back to the surface then.
But Copper, you must still stay with us. No getting lost in the tavern now.
I'm going to leave that to you, Makaria.
I hate dwarves.
You can keep an eye on him, if that's what you
him
want.
being around angers me, but if he must,
No, but 8, you don't understand. Haleth will come back for him in 24 hours. I just know he will.
I know you
It'll
have a
probably be easier for Hala to find him if he's on the surface. And then Jules like, I'm really good at following people.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Jewel, could you, not being subtle at all.
What are you asking Jewel to do?
Oh, to keep an eye on Copper.
Oh yeah, I mean I feel like that was a given.
Yeah,
For me.
of course. Whatever disgusting trinket you wish is yours.
I'm down a few lives. Bring me back next time.
Oh, of course. Have I ever not brought you back?
Just because you haven't doesn't mean you won't.
let's go become inebriated.
I want that on a t-shirt. Just a picture of 8 with a speech roll that says, "Let's go become inebriated."
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty damn good. All right, so you want to head back up to level 1. All right, let me gather the tokens because we didn't have these tokens on level 1 last time.
Oh,
So
that's true. We got cool new tokens.
Yeah, let me copy and paste you up to the next level, and I'll bring your friend Copper with you.
He doesn't get to leave.
I don't think you should trust this guy. I heard all coppers were bastards.
I believe you.
Let's see. Where's the down? There's the down elevator. Here it is. There's everybody. Oh, you had zombies the last time you were here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, my friends, are down here and have emerged from the stairs. Here we go. So yeah, Copper. As you walk out into the room, everybody okay? You're all in the same place on the map now. You found it. Okay. As you walk into the room, yeah, Copper looks around. He sees the dead bodies of the Ettins, and he looks back and he's like, "You lot do this."
Mostly
Yes.
8, but yeah.
And he nods and he says, good work. You're and he looks at you, 8, looks you up and down. You're well constructed. Who built you?
It's a very complicated question.
And he's like, I didn't see a maker's mark anywhere. You a custom job?
8 is not a construct.
Well, I am, but
Not a typical construct. I just know that Rin always says that you're not a construct.
Oh, you're like, Rin usually says a nice thing here. I'm gonna try to remember that.
this pitiful realm's technologies do not have anything close to being requisite to create a creature such as myself.
Basically, 8 is from a long distance away, and there's really no more to pursue there.
Anyway, let's go before we get attacked by something that we can't defend ourselves.
Okay. All right. So where
It was through the secret door right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes. Yeah, you want to head that way.
Yeah, there was a secret door. There's a room where Haleth was found.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And oh, look, Haleth's pit.
Look, that hole we dumped Haleth into.
And then from there did we ever go through this door? I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
So we went through this door. And there was I'm assuming that you're all coming with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep up.
Okay. So you head north. You head north from the room with the pit in it, and Copper follows along, and you go from there into that diagonal hallway
Yeah.
leading back to where the obelisk is. And I can actually just grab everybody and dump them there if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody, yeah, hang on a
trying to
second,
remember.
and I'll place you there because something is different this time when you get back.
I didn't want to like go too far ahead
Yeah,
because
so just
I'm not
stop
actually
where
that
you
far
are,
ahead.
and I will,
Yeah, I'm not
and
moving.
I'll grab everybody and I'll tell you what the deal is.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay, I'm gonna just place you all in this room up here, and then I'll delete you from down here. Okay, so as you come around the corner into this area, Makaria and whoever's in the front, Makaria and Rain and Jewel. I'm sorry, I'll pull you out of the wall. You hear voices coming from around the corner.
Mhm.
So I assume you stop before you
Yeah.
come around.
Can we tell if they're speaking like goblin
They're speaking
or
common.
Okay.
So you pause to listen. Make a perception check.
Will do.
Yeah, whoever's doing the eavesdropping, just would do it with advantage because you know.
Who's got good perception, friends?
Not me.
I have a
Mine's
4.
+4.
Yeah. Okay, we like all have 4. So.
Okay. All right. So yeah, anybody
Guess
wants to.
I'll just roll it then.
Mhm.
Okay.
12.
Okay. All right. So you can pick out most of what they're saying. So one of them says, "So when do we move in?" And the other one says, "Well, we have to clean the place first, and we have to be sure that they're gone."
Oh no, they're definitely vampires. They're
And-
speaking with weird Transylvanian accents.
Uh-huh. And the other one says, "Yes, I think that's a good idea, especially if they killed all of these goblins and the bugbear." And the other one's like, "Yes, good. We should wait. But who's going to clean up?" And then it's like, not it. And like, and there's some like grumbling, and then another one's like, "Help me with this carrion crawler." And then you can hear like somebody like grunting and attempting to like drag a dead carrion crawler. And you can all hear all this from around this corner.
Are they cleaning up the dungeon?
It seems like they may be looking to inhabit this area.
You should talk to them.
Copper comes up behind you and he's
very
like,
well, I will.
"What's everybody whispering about?" Sorry, what? So it's stealthy, right?
Yes, very well. I'll see if I can talk to them, something. Because we have to go this way, because it's the way that leads back.
There was another door. Are you sure there's not another way?
No, it's fine.
There was that other door. We could just. I'm really not in the mood to run into anyone who wants to kill us. I want beer.
You hear someone around the corner be like, "Shh, quiet. What's that sound?" I was like, "I don't hear anything." "No, you be quiet." And then everybody just shuts up.
I like put my hand over Copper's mouth.
It's the bag. And then yeah,
Squeak.
what are you trying to, you're like making mouse noises?
Yes.
Okay, make a deception check with
Oh my
this
God, I hate you so much,
disadvantage.
Aiden.
No one else is doing anything.
It's perfect.
Uh,
Yeah.
I had a
Decep-
plan. I had a plan to walk out there and also pretend to be from wherever they're from, being like, "Oh, good, you found a place for us to stay. I've got all these people."
Deception.
I was planning to go
Deception,
back
please.
down the
Yes.
hallway and try
Oh.
the other door.
I'm really good at this.
Yes, you are very good at this.
Okay. Mother of God. -3.
Whoa, 13. All right.
Actually terrible.
So let me roll here. Okay, so you hear 8 goes squeak squeak, and then you hear a voice. You're like, "Oh, it was just a mouse. Don't worry about it." And then there's more like grunting and dragging noises.
I like make like a this back this way. There was another door. Like
Yeah, I nod and then I start trying to move.
Okay, all right,
Well,
fine.
my
We'll go
God.
back the other way.
I mean, it could go another way. We have no idea. We never opened it.
It's true.
Oh, it's cool that worked. I'm glad.
Squeak, squeak. God, you dork.
Okay, all right. So you want to head back the way you came? Where are you
Yeah.
going now?
Just there was another door off of this chamber that we hadn't tried.
Yeah. It looks
Oh.
like it links back up and it might be an alternate.
And yeah, it might just be like because it's going like I don't know. It's still on that side of the room, so it could go that way. I just don't know.
Yeah.
We have to look at it. So I don't want to open it without people here. So I'm assuming everyone's following.
Yep.
Okay. Jewel, do you want to? You're
Yeah,
so
like
sneaky.
check the door for traps.
Jewel will check the door for traps when she gets to this room.
Okay.
It's going very slow for me. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I definitely find moving individual tokens easier just using like the keyboard rather than like dragging and dropping with the mouse. But yeah, with this many tokens, it does take
Yes.
a little extra time.
Keep them.
Okay, yeah, I mean you can make the roll now and keep making your way over there.
18.
Nice. Okay, so with an 18, yeah, the door definitely seems like safe. There's no obvious traps. It doesn't appear to have any like. It looks like every other door you've seen in this place, pretty much.
Okay. Do the whole like
Open the door.
push it open. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you open it. There is a kind of zigzagging hallway. It goes north like 50
going-
feet and
It's
then
going the right direction at least.
yeah, and then turns.
Okay, well let's see. I'm definitely staying behind 8 and Jewel because they're more fighty than me.
You smell as you come around the corner. You smell the faintest scent of cloves. And as you come around the corner, you spot. He's not looking at you. You spot one of these guys up here. I think you can see him. He's within light range of you. Yeah. So I guess he would notice when. No, they've got light sources of their own. So as you come around the corner, you see this guy, and there's a lantern sitting on the floor by his feet, and he's smoking a cigarette. He's got this like hand-rolled cigarette, and he's like leaned against the wall, and he's smoking, and looking bored. He's pale. He has black hair that is like kind of greased back.
Oh my god, they totally are vampires.
He's wearing a white like blouse that is like open at the front. And he has like a gold necklace on. He has high trousers with like buttons down the front, polished black boots, and like a half cape.
Vampire
And
groupies.
he's leaned against the wall, and he's smoking this cigarette with these like perfectly manicured like black nails, and just like looking at the clouds of smoke as they drift up. Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, Jewel like stops and like points at Rin. Wait.
I mean, there's a
Just
there's
makes
a
a lot of
door
shrugging
right
motions.
here, right? And they're like down here.
Yeah, Jewel might be able to sneak to there, but she does not have faith in anyone else in the party's ability to do that.
I mean, we can try, and then I can talk if we don't succeed.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, sounds good to me too.
All
We're
right,
gonna.
cool.
It's a very short stretch of hallway. We're just gonna try and sneak down.
Okay. All right.
Oh, look at that stealth from now.
20, 21.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna get a 20 or a 21, but I'll try my best.
Jewel goes first.
I
A
get a
1.
I think Macaria like goes out
Down
into
in
the
a
hallway and she like takes it and she sees for the first time these like cool looking fucking dudes and like smells like the waft of the clove cigarette
Oh my god.
and she does like a
Yeah,
and like it's louder than she anticipated.
yeah, and so he turns dramatically, like looks up, and he has these like red eyes, and he snarls. You can see his fangs, and he looks at you, and I think that's the reaction shot before you go to break, right? Is this dude looking up like and like smoke wafting from his nostrils angrily as he spots you at the end of the hallway. So we'll pause here. We'll take a
so
short
sorry.
break, and when we get back, I guess we'll find out what these vampires are all about. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.